Hi, I'm Kelly Forbes, Senior Mental Health Practitioner for Newry and District GP Federation. Following on from the stages of sleep, we really can see that the deeper levels of sleep are so important for our overall physical and mental health. The difficulty is that if sleep has become poor over days, weeks, months, maybe even years, we really know that it's absolutely worth prioritising a routine and putting things in place to get it back on track. The issue is that if it has been going on a long time, it won't be an overnight fix. People at this point often, talk about medications such as Zopiclone or temazepam that can kind of help get that sleep. The issue is they impact memory, they impact concentration and mobility, and they are highly addictive. So it's really unlikely that a GP will prescribe them long term. I'm going to talk through a set of guidelines and recommendations that have been shown to help achieve better sleep. Firstly, it's about maintaining having a set bedtime and a set waking up time, and to avoid sleeping in. This is almost to start setting parameters around your wake time and your bedtime. The key one really, though, is the waking up time, so you absolutely need to stick to that one. It's also recommended that you don't nap during the day or fall asleep early evening. You need to keep yourself awake with something engaging. If you nap, you will disrupt the body's natural internal clock, and then you won't achieve sleep during the night. I guess the issue a lot of people say to me is, I'm so tired, but it's almost like your sleep pattern has got into a bit of a bad habit, and we're almost having to retrain it with its waking time and its sleep time. So it will be difficult to do that, and it will cause some daytime tiredness, but it's absolutely worth working through that to then get things back on track again. Regular exercise is absolutely recommended. So the more you can tire yourself in the day, then the more likely that will help your sleep. They do recommend you avoid really heavy, strenuous exercise in the evening, as it can raise the body temperature and activates the nervous system a little bit more. So that can kind of prevent you getting to sleep. So if at all possible, do your exercise earlier in the day, earlier in the afternoon. The next one is thinking about environment. So I like to think about this one as kind of like the Goldilocks one. So this is about thinking, how dark do you need your room? Are you someone that needs it pitch black, or do you need like a little night light on? Also your temperature. Do you like to be really warm? Do you like it a little bit cool? And again with sound, do you need absolute silence, or would a bit of background noise be helpful for you? Also thinking about your mattress and your pillow, and also it might sound silly, but your sheets, your pajamas, what textures are really comforting for you. Avoiding large meals before bed. So a light snack is absolutely fine, but digestion interferes with relaxation and sleep, and then you've got a higher risk of reflux. So avoid large meals before bed. This next one's quite a big one, so it's thinking about stimulants such as nicotine, caffeine, some cold remedies. All of these increase brain activity, heart rate, blood pressure, and all of that can interfere with sleep. So particularly with caffeine, I would really think about this if you have a high intake of caffeine. So caffeine takes 12 hours to fully leave your system. So if you have, say, a cup of tea at, say, 6 o'clock before you go, in the evening, that isn't out of your system until 6 a.m. And we know caffeine makes it harder to drift off. It reduces the amount of slow wave sleep. It results in a lighter sleep. You're more likely to wake up during the night. It really prevents you getting into those deeper levels of sleep, which you absolutely need for your mental and your physical health, for the mind restoring itself, cleaning out toxins, cleaning out the byproducts, and you feeling really rested in the morning. So I would say a really basic lifestyle change to improve sleep is to have decaffeinated drinks from midday onwards. If you do have a lot of caffeine through the day, if you just stop that, you will get withdrawal symptoms like headache, nausea, tiredness, a bit of irritability. So I would recommend you work out kind of how many cups of tea, coffee, energy drinks, soda drinks you have throughout the day, and then kind of just start gradually decreasing them until your last caffeinated drink is at lunchtime, and see if that makes a difference. The next one is diet. So I guess a little bit similar to the above with the stimulants. We know that a highly processed diet will negatively impact your sleep. So research is showing us the more processed foods you have, you're less likely to get a good quality sleep, and the duration of your sleep will be less as well. So really worth looking at your diet. Next one we're thinking about is alcohol. So a really common thing that people do is if you're having problems sleeping, you will have a drink to help get you off to sleep. And what alcohol does is that it puts you into a really artificial deep sleep, but then you awaken a few hours later and then you're usually unable to get back to sleep, and then you miss that really deep sleep and you're missing that those deeper levels of sleep. So if alcohol is perhaps an issue for you, or it's maybe something that deserves a bit of attention in its own right, then please do speak to a healthcare professional who can link you in with the right service. We really recommend you winding down at least 2 hours before bed and before you're aiming to get to sleep. So avoid the news. Horrendous to be watching the news at the moment with war-torn countries and disaster. It's very activating to watch the news at the moment. Really avoid social media, if possible, any sort of arguing or working or studying or computer games. Now, people might be thinking this seems really hard and really unrealistic, but again, if you don't struggle with your sleep, then you don't need to change these things. But this is about getting a better routine and getting your sleep back on track again. Ensuring you get enough light during the day. So it's recommended that you get at least 30 minutes of sunlight or daylight a day. And if that isn't achievable, then 30 minutes of really strong artificial light. If you're awake due to overthinking or feeling tense, then there's other videos on this channel, the ones on kind of working with your thoughts and thought challenging, and then the relaxation technique videos such as the breathing techniques, progressive muscle, body scan would also be very good to have a look at. So hopefully that's given you some ideas to have a think about and possibly making some changes. If you want to look at it in more detail, there's also, if you kind of search sleep diaries, then that can help you unpick it a bit further and see. And again, just a Google search of a sleep diary, you'll find that really easily. And like I said, that will help you unpick it in more detail and see where you can make some changes.